that, like, we get offensive confidence through stops. So once we started putting stops together, I felt like we started making shots.
And speaking about the stops, Maryland did get off to a hot start, especially from three. Is that one of those ones where they were taking difficult shots, making the difficult shots that you almost kind of ride it through?
I think it was a little bit of both. They had really talented players, and they were making tough shots, but also it was on us. Like, we could have definitely stepped it up defensively, and we felt like we did that in the second half.
Next question. In the back.
Yaxel, you had a big take over there in the second half. Can you just talk about the confidence that you had in taking the ball in your own hands, really just driving that lead, and then also being able to spread the wealth when they started double teaming you, but also kicking out to LJ for a few threes, Elliot as well, and just how that really sparked in the second half?
I've been in a lot of positions like that last year where I was pretty much like the only hope on offense, and I just took it in my hands to reenact it like it was last year, but it's not. I have a lot of good shooters, good players on my team, and just being able to spread the wealth was easy. They're over there and they're all pretty good, so it's like give them the ball and let them work if I can't. So it's all good with me.
Yaxel, it looked like you and Diggy were number 8 from Maryland. We're going at it a little bit. I mean, of course, in the scoreboard, having some conversation on the court as well. What was it like being in a flow state with a guy like that, being on the court together?
Yeah, well, he was pretty much a one-man army throughout the whole game once Pharrell got injured. So honestly, my whole game plan was just not let him touch the ball at all. He's their only offense, in my opinion. So the trash talk came because I kept bumping him down the court the first time I face guarded him. Like, I got mad too, so I started talking smack as well. But yeah, the whole game was just deny the ball, one-man zone.
Andrew?
Both of you guys, I guess, what did it feel like to be tested in the second half for the first time in a long time? And actually, yeah.
It definitely felt good. We've been having a lot of blowout wins, and we just think that this will help our growth throughout the season.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. This is something that we really needed as Big Ten players starting. Just getting the feel of how the road environment is going to feel, especially with how well we've been establishing ourselves as a team. So this is a very good test for us.
Elliot and Yax, I guess it seems like every game multiple times you guys are able to go on like a 10-0, 11-0 run. I guess just why do you feel like you guys are able to consistently go on runs every single game?
For me, I'll say like defense. Like, it starts on defense for us all the time. So when we string together a lot of stops, I feel like that gives us confidence on the other end.
For me, it'll be this guy right here in the middle. Just head coaching, just calling the plays that we need to put people in the right spots. And when the offense starts flowing, I feel like our defense flows as well, or vice versa. And tonight, it was our offense that got us going. So yeah, it's all kudos to coach.
Anything else for the players? Okay, thanks, fellas.
You want an opening statement?
Yes.
Well, I'll give Maryland credit. I thought the first half they played really, really good basketball, and obviously their shot making was at an elite level. And it was a night where we had to counter their shot making with our shot making to hang around until we were able to get our defense ignited. And we got contributions from a lot of guys. Obviously, the two guys that were up here played exceptional floor games. But the beautiful thing about these guys, they trust and believe and respect each other's unique talents, that when one guy gets it going, they play through that guy, because they also understand that once we cause that overreaction, then that's all that we needed. So we played through Yax, and then as we played through him more and more, they gave him that much attention, and he just made the right plays. And that's the best part about this group. They're all about winning, and they just made the right plays. Obviously, we weren't perfect, but when you see 28 assists on 50 however many baskets, that's a tribute to a very unselfish basketball team.
Hey, Coach, did you do anything in particular defensively that changed things up? And if so, what was it?
Yeah, our assistant coaches huddled at halftime and talked about a couple of different coverages and a couple of different matchups. And I thought the players were able to carry that onto the court and execute it. But it started with challenging more catches. Our ball pressure got better. We got in foul trouble in the first half, so we had to pull back our aggressiveness a little bit because we didn't want them to shoot a bunch of free throws. And then in the second half, we weren't in foul trouble. I thought our ball pressure got better, and we challenged. It was just harder for Coit to get his catches. So hopefully that had a cumulative effect, because he had a heck of a game.
And you did have 28 assists on 35 makes. Just throughout the process of building this team through the offseason to now, has that sort of sharing with all this talent always been present?
Absolutely. They're as a coaching staff, everything's not important to us, but there are a few things that are paramount to play at Michigan in our program, and we all share that philosophy in recruiting. And once they get here, and every minute of every day when we're on the court together, and so the guys that we have bought into that vision and messaging before they got here, and luckily nothing's changed, because it's very difficult to be all about winning in today's climate, and our group continues to be all about winning.
Hey, Coach. When Payne went down, what were you guys able to exploit from Maryland?
I mean, obviously, Payne, you have to account for him at all times. I thought his ball screens were really effective. He was physical. And then his ability to get it in the post and score and go through a die a couple times, I thought, got us on our heels. But most importantly, early in the game, he caused some overreactions, and he sprayed that thing out and got his shooters open shots. And then that's just the flow of the game. But he's a weapon. He's a dangerous player. Praying that he has just a half he misses instead of a season, or whatever the case. But he's a warrior. He's a winner. Whatever it is, I'm sure their approach will be good. That he's going to grow from it. So, but yeah, we obviously became had a fortuitous break, if you want to call it. I don't even call it that, but yeah, he was a load. Just put it that way.
Andrew?
Dusty, what can you say about your team's composure tonight? I mean, they had some plays, not necessarily after the whistle, but some physical stuff, and
Yeah, I thought we knew coming into it that these guys play hard. They're physical. It could get chippy when you play, when you're as aggressive going to the glass as they are, because every single shot that goes up is feudal warfare in the middle. There's no archers. It's just straight mucking it up Braveheart style. And so we knew that, and it can get chippy. I thought our guys did a great job of maintaining their composure, not giving Maryland any free points, or any of our guys being on the bench because of irrational decision making.
And then, if you don't mind, they shoot the lights out, but the final score, you still win by 18 points, I guess. What other things were you guys doing so well, I guess, besides your own shooting, to kind of make sure that you still won?
When we were able to get stops, we got in transition, and I thought our bigs ran, which caused the defense to collapse towards the paint, and we made shots, and I thought we needed our shooting tonight. I thought we made shots, but they were also mostly paint touch or in rhythm threes, and we have a good shooting team whenever we can do that. But Maryland, I thought Maryland played hard. I thought they obviously they have some young guys that don't have the level of experience that we have across the board, but I thought they competed, and obviously the final score is not indicative of how close this game was.
We have time for a couple more. Jake?
Hey, Coach. Back here, your bench only had 2 made shots in the first half, but finished with 25 points for the game. Can you just talk about the adjustments your bench particularly made going into the second half, with LJ and Roddy really taking charge there in the second half to lead that run?
Yeah, we talk about it in-house. We have 9 starters, and we don't make a big deal out of it because our guys don't really care. Roddy Gale is a fourth-year player that's very accomplished as a scorer in all facets, and he's just wants to win and be a part of something bigger than himself. And at halftime, I said that. I go, this was probably the least production we've gotten out of our bench this year. And then obviously the second half, those guys came in, and Trey McKinney missed a couple shots that he's typically makes. But I thought his defense and his energy, once again, when it's not going for you in this facet, turn all focus towards that. I thought he was all about winning, and same thing with Will Cheddar. I thought Will Cheddar screens, they're not going to show up in any box score, but if you went back and looked at the film at all those baskets, Yaxel was delivering the ball to a die. Those were because of Will's screens and the spacing and the gravity he provides. So, like I said, our guys, they want to be in big games. They want to be playing in meaningful games late in the year. So, that's the cost of sacrificing minutes and whatnot, especially when a couple guys have it going, because we played Yaxel and Elliot and these guys a lot more than we typically do because they were in such a good flow.
Last question.
Hey, Coach, I know you talked about Payne's impact on the offensive end, but did you notice any difference defensively when he and then Washington, number 9, went out there early in the second half?
they were changing defenses so frequently, but obviously when you take Payne off their team, their rim protection and their physicality aren't going to be the same. I thought in the first half he jumped a couple times and even landed, but he shows his hands so well. He's so physical with his chest that we missed some shots that we normally make. I think we were coming into the game, we were number 1 in the country in 2-point percentage, and we missed a lot of baskets around the rim in the first half that we normally make. And so, we've got to finish through power and all the stuff we work on, but most importantly, I thought it's because of his physicality and his aggressiveness, just initiating the contact on those dump downs and whatnot.
Coach, thank you so much.
Thank you guys, appreciate it.